Okay, so I'm going to tell you in this session like how to read a research paper. So you need to read a lot of research papers before finding one paper that would be your base paper for your upcoming research. To add novelty in the field of research, that you would need to know all the researches which are going on at that time. So what is going on currently, which methods are being used, what are the different methods that are being proposed, and everything. All those things you would need to know before you write your own paper. So you would need to read a lot of papers in that field to publish something new of your own. So in this session, I'm going to tell you exactly how are you going to read those papers and how are you going to find those papers. In order to start your research journey, you would first have to decide the topic of your own. That is a primary domain and a secondary domain. Once you have decided what topic you're going to research into, for example, if you want to research into agentic AI, for example, you want to research into reinforcement learning and all those things, so with that, you would have to have a secondary domain. After finding that secondary domain, you would like take up the primary domain and the secondary domain and merge it together and see what is going on in that domain, in that field, like what papers are being published and what is the current approach, what are the current methods being used. And from there, you would get some novelty and you would get an idea how you would write your own paper. So firstly, like how to read a research paper. Before that, you should know how to find those. So how to find papers. So there is a Google Scholar button which you can easily install. Like when you click on this, or if you type Google Scholar button extension on your browser, you can add it to your Chrome extension. Like what it will do is once you add this extension, you will have to install it first and then add it into the extension. Then you can pin it. Over here there is an extension option. If you pin it, you could easily find the Google Scholar extension button. Now what all that you can do is if you want to have a research, for example AI in healthcare, when you type that AI in healthcare and you click enter, you would find like normal sites. But if you want to find papers which have AI in healthcare, you can just type it over here, select it, and search on Google Scholar button. When you click on the Google Scholar button, you could find all the papers related to that. Then you can also click on that, you can find that link. uh, you would have to see another one, like these research articles which are available in that domain would be easily available by the Google Scholar button. This is the current research that I had clicked on. Like this is the way you would find relevant papers via Google Scholar button. Then the next option is Google Scholar PDF Reader. This is also a very important and a good extension to have. You would just have to add it in your Chrome, install it and add it in your Chrome extension. Once you have it installed, you could just pin it again so that you can easily find it over here. Now, if I find a paper, for example, attention is all you need, is the paper I'm reading right now. This is a very famous paper, like everyone reads the paper when they start research. So, yeah, if this is what I have, I can click on this citations. Like it is very much easier to manage citations through this. Like if I click on this, I can easily find the paper. So this is possible because of Google Scholar PDF Reader extension. I can easily click on it and get to that paper. So that became very much easier for me. That is an option, and then there is an option of SiteSpy. SiteSpy is basically a VS Code extension made by Mihir Panchal. So when you search on this and you search on extensions and you search SiteSpy, Spy, you would get this extension and you can easily install it. So once it is installed, you could see the icon over here. And when you search, for example, I want to see again AI in healthcare. So when you type on that, you would find all the recent papers related to that. See, you can easily find that. Semantic Scholar is also a very good place where you could find research papers. You can just click on them and you will get all the papers that you need. You just need to type the right keywords. Once you have your primary and secondary domain, you can easily type them and search them around and then read all those papers. This is how you could find the paper. Then there are even other AI tools like Elicit. Elicit is AI for scientific research. You could find papers, you could easily summarize the papers, you could chat with the papers. These are certain tools. Anara is also another tool. Then library access. Library access is basically for students of my college, that is SPKM. Um, you can easily find the library access. After you log in, you could put on the credentials, that is your SAP ID at the rate stkmgroup.com, and your Wi-Fi password, which is Comstar 4567 for computer engineering students, and then you type on this, and you could easily see the um, easily access the papers. Yeah, you could try it on. That is another way. Um, then there is an Excel sheet that I have put up in this. What you can do is when you find those papers, you write the paper's title, paper link, and bib text, and the short summary. Short summary is basically what you found on that paper, and then unfamiliar terms in the paper. By this, you can actually get a good literature survey of all the papers that are available. So, regarding your topic of research, that would be very much convenient for you so that you could find novelty, add to the research, know about the research, read about the literature, and learn a lot of things. So, research papers provide a very good source to like learn a lot of things and to like find the gaps and find where novelty can be made and where you can add some value into it. Okay, so this is a very good format in which this is already linked over here. You can um, easily see it and then fill it accordingly. Okay, so what exactly is the bibtex? Bibtex is when you like, for example, I have attention is all you need, again that paper. Okay, I linked to that paper. Now I want to get the bibtex. Bibtex is basically when you cite the papers, you need to have a bibtex. So from Google Scholar button, I found the paper. I clicked on cite. I clicked on bibtex. Here I can find the bibtex and I can like copy paste this into my overleaf document so that I can easily cite the references. So that is a very useful thing to do, and you could like put on your bibtext here so that citing becomes easier later on. Okay, then this is like how to find research papers. Then now it's like how to read a research paper. To read a research paper, there have been like various papers, various videos like on how to read a research paper. So it is a very good art that you need to like master, because you would like to have read a lot of papers before getting the topic of your own, and after getting the topic you would also have to read what is the current research going on. So this becomes a very important topic for you. Now, how to read them? So there is a three pass approach that has been proposed in one of the papers. um, so basically the first pass is going to be like you would read the title, the abstract, the introduction, and the conclusion. For example, in this paper only, like attention is all you need, again, there is an abstract. That's the title. There's an abstract. Abstract basically tells about what exactly the whole paper is about. So on reading the abstract, you know that the paper is about these things, and if it is relevant to the topic that you are searching for, if it is relevant to the research that you uh, want to read and want to contribute to. So you could easily figure it out after reading the abstract. And after reading the abstract, then you could read the introduction. Introduction contains all the backgrounds and the details about like how this idea came across. Then there are like then there are headings. You could just go through the headings, what all the paper is about, and see if there are diagrams. Then you could have a close look of the diagrams. So reading the paper becomes easier. Then you could also read the conclusion. Conclusion gives you like what the complete paper is about, and after this you could have a quick look on the results and everything. So that's your first read. So at the first read you'll see title and abstract, introduction, conclusion, some headings and some tables. What will this give you is, after reading the first time, like after getting the overview of it, you would get like, what is this paper about? Is this relevant to your research? And what are the main contributions? You would get a very overview about the full paper. And that would be very much relevant because you would know like what to do with this paper. You want to continue reading it as and reading it and ponder upon it, or is it not relevant about the research topic that you're researching on, then you could like switch to a different paper. So this becomes a very important pass or the very important read. Then the second read is like grasping the content. So now you know that this paper is very much relevant for your research topic. You would read it completely, you would focus on why, you would understand what, you would understand how of things, you would understand every single line of it. Like how exactly, what the methods have been used, what exactly is there, and all those things. So basically, that's the third pass itself. You would like, you can combine the first and second and the third pass. Like you would see the interpretation, you would do the critical analysis, you would agree with the interpretation, or if you don't agree with the interpretation, you would like read, are there any alternative explanations? You would assume the validity, you would like see what is the future scope, you would see like what is the accuracy, what are the methods being used, and all those things. Now you know completely about the paper. Then you can like, if you have read into this depth and you have like tried to get the full view of it, that means you are very much interested in that topic and you want to research into that topic. So you would like to add some new, and if you want to like put your own publication, you want to add some novelty in it. So that becomes very much easier after this full read. Like after this full read, you would like find something, some future scope, some methods, and you would get a clear view of it. So then lastly, these are the research questions you could ask yourself. So what happens is, like, to get new topics, to add something, to add some value, you would, if you would ask these questions, you would get the idea of it. You would get the answers to it. You can ask, like, you can implement the full paper. If there is a paper, that paper has been utilized in doing certain thing, so you could just and code and everything is provided. If code and data set is provided, look through it, try it, implement it, and see what exactly is there. You won't be, majority of the times you won't be actually able to implement it exact way, but you would like get a feel of it, what exactly it is, how it is working, is it proper, is everything perfectly written, are the new methods used, or is it outdated research on that topic. So these are the following questions that you could ask yourself and like find the novelty in it. You could ask yourself like, how can this research be implemented? So if you implement that and you could find the loopholes in it, then you could like write a new paper by improving those loopholes. Then, does the author's argument require further clarification? So if the author has provided certain arguments and they require certain levels of clarity, you could like make a survey paper, you could give a clarity to it, you could make different types of papers, you could like read the methods, you could see if the methods are outdated or not, and all those things. Like if the results are like using X models, what if I want to use Y model and try it out? You could experiment it out. You could see what all you can do with that code, what all you can do with that piece of work, and what all you can provide in it. So, the whole purpose of research is to add some novelty and to add some value. So, these are the questions you should ask yourself before you write a paper or you research upon your topic. So, when you ask those questions, you would gain some clarity and idea on what to research upon. And thank you for listening.